Welcome to the emergency section of the program. The emergency animations. This is going to be a series of tutorials on what the heck to do if you don't know the program and you're just getting into it and you just got to get something done. That's basically what it is. The first part is called the hack, the emergency hack. All right, and the idea here is that you don't have any time to learn the program. You want to create something simple. And how do you just sort of blunder your way through it, hack your way through it well enough to create something that you can get done, and then, you can learn it later, right? You can learn the program later. In the meantime, the job's done, the client's happy, and you're off to other stuff, right? So here we go. Start off opening up the program. Go to your program, find your applications, find your ProAnimator 8 or higher icon. Now your icon might be on your dock, or it might be in your startup menu. Wherever it is that you have it, that's perfectly fine. Double click to launch it. Now if you're running inside of After Effects, add a solid that's the size of the comp, and then add the ProAnimator plugin to that solid. As soon as you do that, you'll see this exact screen that we're looking at right here, and we can proceed. So since this is just an emergency hack, we're going to keep it simple and create some 3D text. So you click that, your text window is going to open up, and please type emergency hack. Okay, just like that. Now, since you don't know anything about the program, we're going to assume that you type that and then you come over here to change the font and nothing's happening. So hopefully you're smart enough to look back and go, oh, nothing's happening. So maybe I need to select the objects that I'm working on, like that. Once you've selected them, then you can go through and change them all you like. You get an update right here. The little box shows you which ones you're changing in case you didn't select all of them. You'd figure that out pretty well, I'm sure. Anyway, for right now, choose Gill Sans and then go down. You can use your up and down arrow keys to click through these guys and maybe find light italic or anything else that you're familiar with. Choose a thin font for now. It'll keep other problems from happening that we just aren't going to go into for right now. You do that, you click OK, and then it's going to create the models for you and put them into the timeline, and everything's ready to go. Now, again, since you don't know anything about the program, you don't need to look at any of this stuff across the bottom for right now, because remember, we're doing an emergency hack. The one thing you do need to know is how to set up keyframes. Now, since you're brand new to the program, you're going to be thinking keyframes, because every other program uses keyframes, right? This program uses poses instead of a keyframe. A pose is way more there's way more data in a pose. There's way more to a pose than there is in a keyframe, but that's fine. That's fine. Just think keyframes for right now, and look at this thing right here. Okay, that's going to be our keyframe for today. In Zaxwerks land, we call that a pose. So this is going to be a pose, and we can make multiple of these, and you can click them and drag them around the timeline. Now it has a length to it, right? So it means that it's going to sit there the length of time of that pose. So again, I'm sorry, I'm teaching you stuff. We're not teaching you, we're just hacking through it. So here we go. There's the pose. Now to make another pose, you need to double click where there's some blank space on the timeline. So move over here, double click right here, and you're going to get one for the beginning. And that's how you create a pose and another pose with the transition attaching the two things. All right, so think of those as your two keyframes. It's going to start somewhere and it's going to go somewhere. So this is the timeline, and we're first of all going to move the camera. So here's the camera button, and there's the Tumble Tool. So select those two and then move this around until you've got it about maybe something like that. These don't look good at all. We need to make them give them a color. So you're looking through here and you go, oh yeah, I need to color those things. Well, how do I color stuff? None of these buttons around here say color on them. If I select it, in every other program, usually there's a way. Well, that lit up. That says text block. That's pretty good. What do I have down here? Workspaces. Oh yeah, materials. Materials is what you call coloring in 3D. So we'll click on materials, and there you go. There's your colors over there. And maybe you'll just remember enough to look at this as material swatches, and then we have this thing called object style swatches. So if you click on that, hopefully you'll bump into that, and you'll remember that now you can drag and drop these guys, and then maybe find one that you like that's going to be good enough for now. So here we go. We're emergency hack. We're going to deal with bright red. So Okay, there's our colors. Our colors for right now. Now you need to set up the animation. So what are you going to do? You're going to come down here to Workspace and go to Animation. And you're back to where you were a second ago. And so here's what we have with our two poses. Now remember, poses like keyframes, they're going to set where something comes from and where it goes to. So I'm going to select this guy right here. And then, remember, I don't know anything about what these things do down here. And I'm too busy to learn, dang it. So I'm just going to do what I usually do and click and drag stuff around. In the ProAnimator world, we call that tweaking. But I want to show you how that works, because that's how we're going to hack our way through this first animation, is just by tweaking things into position. Now to do that, you don't want the camera selected. If you move the camera right now, well, besides the fact that it's going to rotate it, but if we go to like tracking and drag the camera off, then when we come back over here, you see it's still off screen. So we don't want to do that. This is our camera. Once the camera is set, you want to leave it right there and instead change to object mode. So there you go, a little cube, right? Cubes, objects, yeah, that's how that works. So once you've done that, you can now click and start to drag. Now as soon as I started to drag, this alert box came up that says you're about to tweak something. Well, yes, that's true, because I don't know anything about this program. I just want to hack my way through it. So I'm going to click big deal. Okay, I just you know, wow, I only have 10 minutes left now. How do I get something done? So here we go. We're now going to click and start dragging this thing off and just drag it off screen. But as soon as you do that, you see now you've got an animation. Okay, so you're one step closer to the end of the job, and you say, hey, this is cool. I might be able to do something with this after all. The next step is to make it go somewhere. For that, I'm going to need another pose. So just double click where there's a blank spot on the timeline, about like that. And now I'm going to change tools to this tool right here. This is going to be our dolly tool. And now as we pull down, you see that pulls it right off screen, just like that. So we're going to pull it off pretty far and then play it back, and you say, hey, look at that. Now when I play this back, it's going to play through, and then it's go off screen, and the timeline keeps moving until it hits that little red thing, and then it jumps. So you go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to move this red thing down about to here, and now when it plays back, it's going to get to the red thing and then just jump back to the beginning. So hey, I'm figuring this out, right? That's one of the parts about software that's really cool. If you can sort of blunder your way through it and still get something, that's, you know, that's the hook, man. Now you can do something with it. And that's encouraging, because you'll then learn how to do more and more and more. Okie doke, so here we go. We've got this guy playing back. It moves in and it moves off. And hey, dude, the only thing you need now is to set how fast these things are moving. So here's how we do that. It's sliding on and it's holding for a little bit and it's going off. Well, that hold, is that going to be long enough for you? You know, is that what you want? Well, you see the hold is happening when the time marker is over this bar right here. So all we have to do is make this bar longer. Now if I put my cursor over the end and make it longer this way, look what's happening to the transition next to it. It makes it shorter. So now it's holding for a long time, and then the exit off screen is just going to go zip really quick. So we don't want to do that. I'm going to hit undo. There we go, to bring that back. What we do want to do though is, if we want to keep this speed the same, I'm going to select here and then hold down the shift key and click here. And now I can drag these to the right, and look what happens to this bar. It makes the bar longer, but it doesn't change anything else. So adjust how long you want that, and then play it back. So we go here, and it plays pretty much in real time. So here we go, then it holds, and then it goes off. Maybe you want to make that longer. Maybe you want to make it really short, you know, like this, where it plays and then moves just like that. That's actually sort of nice, isn't it? Except that loop point is way too far. So now I want to make this transition shorter. Remember how to do that? Select just this guy and then drag this guy down. And now when we play this back, it moves on, holds, and then moves off. So there you go. Okay, so now you know how to set up timing just by making these bars longer or shorter. There's no keyframes to worry about though, so it's not like you've got to, you know, turn down some twirlies and dig around inside the guts of the program to find out where the keyframes are. So real quick like that, you have now created your first emergency hack. Yay! Okay, there you go. That's the animation. So to output this guy, you come down to the output controls right here. You can hit render frame to see what it's going to look like at any time. in full resolution. This is where you set up the resolution right there. It's got a bunch of presets for you. You can even turn motion blur on if you'd like to do that. And then it's time to do the rendering. So you just hit render movie, and then you get to choose where it's going to go to, and you can click your QuickTime movie or one of your image sequences. If you want the alpha channel, and I assume that you do, make sure this button is turned on and that you choose a format that's going to support it. For instance, JPEGs do not support alpha channels. Targas and PNGs do. If you choose a QuickTime movie, you're going to get this option, and you need to choose the lossless item because H.264 does not support alpha channels. Lossless does. So there you go. Congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back. You just did your first emergency hack. Yay! Now it's time to, well, see what else the client wants, because now that you just did it, they say, hey, that's pretty cool. That guy's groovy. I want some more 3D from that guy. And let's go to part 2.